Daniel, let's pour one out because
Oh,
we're officially done with spooky season 2025.
oh yeah.
But we do have some interesting news about Lee Cronin's upcoming Mummy movie. I don't know what your anticipation is for this thing, I guess the Mummy in general, because I got to be honest with you, I've never seen any of the old Universal monster, that universe Mummy movies.
Yeah.
But Lee Cronin recently did Evil Dead Rise a few years ago, which I quite enjoyed.
It was good.
And so we got a scoop about this upcoming movie that he did, which is, from what I've been able to see, titled Lee Cronin's The Mummy or just The Mummy. The new title is apparently not The Mummy anymore. It's now The Resurrected, which sounds like the Passion of the Christ sequel. the rest
Yeah, it does.
That's what comes
Actually,
to mind
isn't
for me.
isn't Mel calling it the resurrection
It's
of
the
Christ?
resurrection too. So they're
Yeah.
kind of, I guess they're jumping on that. That's apparently been retitled. And then the plot is this. This is the alleged plot. After his missing daughter mysteriously returns, a father discovers she carries the spirit of an ancient Egyptian mummy. As the evil spreads to his other child, he must perform a deadly ritual to save them. So, not at all what I expected when they announced months and months ago that Cronin was doing his take on the mummy. This to me
Yeah.
sounds like a spin on The Exorcist almost,
Or Evil Dead.
or Evil Dead, or there's this movie in 1980 called The Awakening with
Mm.
Charleston Heston. I don't know if you've ever seen that,
I
but
haven't, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, so that's a woman who gets possessed by an Egyptian queen after her father, he's like an archaeologist, he like disturbs the queen's tomb. So it's not at all what I expected, but I guess it tracks with what Cronin had previously said about the project, where he said
Yeah.
it's unlike any mummy movie, and he dug deep into the earth to raise something ancient and frightening. So, what are your thoughts about this?
Honestly, when you had messaged me about it, I didn't know anything about it. I'd totally forgotten this was in the works. And more importantly, I had forgotten that Lee Cronin was even working on this. Just like you, I loved Evil Dead Rise. I thought he did a banger job with it. And then reading the synopsis, I'm like, I actually really like the sound of this. Again, it sounds very different than what I was expecting. But I've often thought, how do you make the mummy modern? What do you do? And I feel like this sounds pretty interesting. Sounds modern, but also like, oh, I kind of like that. I dig that. Not my first thought.
But the cast, the biggest name in here is Jack Rayner,
Yeah.
who's I know who he is, but he's not like a huge actor. I think of him in Midsummer.
Hmm.
Um, it doesn't have like a big person that's going to bring people in. So if
This,
this, I, it's kind of like Wolfman. Wolfman
yeah.
originally was Ryan Gosling, and then he
Hmm.
left, and they never kind of recaptured a huge name like he.
Yeah.
For me at least, um, think that he's a big draw, even though we know that's not true because Free Guy bombed. But he's like, people know who Ryan Gosling is. I think
Right.
him attached to a Wolfman would drum up more excitement
Oh,
than
yeah.
Jack Rayner in a Mummy movie. I'll say with this plot for this upcoming Mummy movie, it's too reminiscent, I think, of other things, including like
Yeah.
Exorcist or the Evil Dead thing. I get that too. Evil is like he's kind of digging in the same well. So that's concerning to me. Not that this was like super high on my
Yeah.
anticipated list, but reading that, I don't know, man. Just give us. We haven't had a traditional mummy movie in a long time. Just give us that. And that was my thought process with Wolfman. I think you can put interesting themes in there,
Mm.
but you have to give us what we pay for. And they didn't do that in Wolfman. And I
Yeah.
feel like they're going to do something goofy in this where it's not a traditional mummy. And I want to
Yeah.
see a traditional mummy in a mummy movie.
I, for some reason, whether it's with this movie or what follows, I do believe that we are on the precipice of there being movies like this, and they're going to revert back to that traditional or classic horror sense of they're going to start giving, as in the studios or film producers, they're going to start making movies where they're giving more back to what they're promising in the title and what you think you're getting when you go into movies. Because I think it's failed, it's blown up in their face too many times, like Wolfman, where, like you said, audiences are like, well, this is nothing like I freaking thought it would be. Interesting concept. I think you can do that every now and then, but in this case, like you said, I think it's you gotta deliver on the goods. And I am concerned of that as well. But I'm also interested in this. I will say that this has actually caused my interest level, I'm gonna say, to go up a lot, but it has risen, I would say. Not no pun intended.